I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we will sketch graph of an absolute function. The question here is, sketch the graph of f of x equals to absolute value of minus 2x squared plus 4x minus 3. Now to sketch the graph of absolute function, we'll first sketch the graph of inside function, which is a quadratic function, and then make it absolute. So let us consider this function as f of x equals to absolute value of g of x, where g of x is equals to the quadratic equation minus 2x squared plus 4x minus 3. To sketch the graph of this parabola, let's find the vertex, write it in vertex form. So I'll take minus 2 common. So we have x squared minus 2x minus 3. So that is completing the squares method which we're trying to do. We have minus 2. In this part, we will add and subtract half of 2 square. So that is 1 square. So we'll add and subtract 1 square. These are the steps you should follow to complete the squares, right? First three terms form a perfect square, which is x minus from here, 1 from there, x minus 1 whole square, minus 1 whole square is minus 1, minus 3, and then we could write this as minus 2, open the bracket, minus 2 times x minus 1 whole square, minus 2 times minus 1 is plus 2, minus 3. So we get minus 2 times x minus 1 whole square, and plus 2 minus 3 is minus 1. So with that calculation, we get parabola in terms of vertex. We can roughly sketch the graph here. So what we know here is the vertex is at, let's write down, vertex is at 1 minus 1. That is the vertex. It opens down, right? And y-intercept, that means g of 0, will be, if I substitute 0 here, I get 1 square minus 2 times 1 is minus 2. Minus 2 minus 1 gives me minus 3, right? So that is the value. So taking those values, we can sketch the graph, which will be vertex at 1 minus 1. Let us say this is 1, this is minus 1. In that case, the graph will be kind of like this, right? So that is the vertex. So that becomes your parabola, which we are saying is the function g of x. So this is g of x for us. We need to sketch absolute value of g of x. So what we'll sketch now is f of x, which is absolute value of g of x, right? That function. So in that case, what happens is we will flip it over x-axis, correct? So this point will appear here, and then this, which is at minus 3, should be at plus 3, right? So what we get here is kind of a parabola like this, where this point is 3, right? So mirror image of g of x, mirror being the x-axis, gives you the graph of the given function. So that is how we will sketch f of x, right? So I hope the steps are clear to you. First step, what we did was sketch inside functions. First step is sketch inside function, right? Which was g of x in our case. And second step was we need to reflect it. Reflect negative portion on x-axis. In this case, the whole graph was in quadrant 3 and 4, so it just gets reflected to quadrant 2 and 1, and that is what you get, right? So it is extremely important example. That is how you should be doing it. I'm Anil Kumar. I hope the video helps you to do similar questions from your book. Thank you and all the best.